In a field on the outskirts of town lived a kind-hearted cow named Lola. She had a loving family and many friends. But Lola's greatest dream was to see the world beyond the field. However, her mother always warned her not to go too far, because there were dangerous things out there that could harm her. Lola wanted to explore the world so badly that she even befriended a bird who flew back and forth between the field and the town. Through him, she learned about all sorts of amazing places like bakeries, bookstores, and even banks. Lola dreamed of going there one day. One day, Lola met a wise old turtle who told her about an enchanted forest deep in the mountains where all kinds of wonderful things grew. The berries tasted like chocolate and caramel, the trees had roofs made of soft moss, and the flowers smelled like delicious pastries. Lola longed to see it for herself and decided to go on an adventure to find the magical woods. On her way, she encountered all kinds of obstacles that tested her courage, intelligence, and kindness. First, she had to cross a wide and fast-flowing river. All the other animals warned her it was too dangerous, but Lola refused to turn back. Just then, a friendly beaver swam up to her and offered to take her across in his boat. But halfway through the river, some mischievous otters tipped the boat over, and Lola found herself in the water. However, instead of panicking, she remembered her mother's advice to stay calm in dangerous situations. So she took a deep breath, relaxed her body, and let the current carry her to the shore. There, she was greeted by a helpful deer who dried her off, led her out of the forest, and brought her back to the road. Lola thanked the deer and continued on her way, feeling grateful for his help. As the sun began to set, Lola realized she had been walking for hours and was starting to get hungry. She spotted a cozy-looking cottage nearby and decided to knock on the door. When the owner opened the door, Lola explained that she was lost and asked if she could please stay the night. The owner, who turned out to be a kind witch, welcomed her in and gave her food and a warm place to sleep. Lola felt very comfortable in the witch's cottage, but she didn't want to overstay her welcome, so the next morning, she got up early, said goodbye to her host, and set off again. As she walked along the path, she noticed footprints in the dirt that looked exactly like hers. At first, she thought it was strange, but then she realized that someone was following her. She turned around and saw a little rabbit with a worried expression on its face. The rabbit explained that he had been following Lola because she had accidentally stepped on his burrow while crossing the field. Lola apologized and asked if there was anything she could do to help. The rabbit said that she had broken his spectacles and he needed them to see. Lola felt terrible and promised to get him new glasses. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a shiny coin she had saved up to buy herself a treat. She handed it to the rabbit and told him to buy himself a new pair. The rabbit was touched by Lola's kindness and gratitude and thanked her profusely. He then hopped away happily. Lola continued on her journey until she reached a tall mountain with a winding path leading to the top. She knew that the magical forest was somewhere near here, but she soon realized that she had no idea which direction to go. Just then, a wise owl flew down from a tree and perched on a nearby rock. Lola asked him for directions to the enchanted woods, and the owl replied that she would have to solve 3 riddles before he would tell her the way. Lola agreed and sat down. The owl's first riddle was, "What has an eye but cannot see?" Lola thought for a moment, and then answered, "A needle." The owl nodded and asked his second riddle. "What is full of holes but can still hold water?" Lola thought hard and finally said, "A sponge." The owl ruffled his feathers and asked his last riddle. "What has one voice but can speak in many languages?" Lola was stumped by this one and asked for a hint. Lola said, "Look around you." Lola looked around and realized that the answer was the wind. The owl was impressed by Lola's intelligence and told her the way to the enchanted woods. He also warned her that there was a grumpy troll under the bridge she would have to cross who didn't like visitors. Lola thanked the owl and continued on her way. When she reached the bridge, she took a deep breath and started walking across. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed, "Halt! State your name and what brings you to my bridge." Lola politely replied, "My name is Lola, and I am on my way to the enchanted woods." The troll grumbled something under his breath and asked her, "What is the most valuable thing you have?" Lola thought for a moment. She could have easily lied and said it was her money or her glasses, but she knew that wouldn't be honest. So she said, "My most valuable thing is my kindness. I use it to help others and make the world a better place." The troll looked at her for a moment and then grunted, "Very well, you may pass." Lola thanked him and continued on her way, feeling proud that she had passed the troll's test. As she walked deeper into the woods, she began to feel a sense of wonder and awe. The trees were indeed covered in soft moss, and the flowers smelled like sweet cake. But just then, a loud crash startled her, and a small squirrel fell out of a tree and landed at her feet. He explained that he had been gathering nuts for his family when he accidentally knocked himself out. Lola gently helped him up and asked if he was hurt. The squirrel shook his head and told her he would be fine. Lola wanted to be sure, so she asked a passing rabbit if he could please take the squirrel home. The rabbit gladly agreed and carried the unconscious animal back to his burrow. Lola felt relieved knowing that the squirrel was safe. She continued on until she came across a clearing where a group of animals were gathered around a large oak tree. They were arguing loudly and couldn't seem to agree on anything. Lola approached them cautiously and asked if everything was okay. One of the animals explained that they could undecide who should get to play in the clearing next. Each group wanted to use the space for their own game, but no one could agree. Lola suggested that they could all play together, but they responded by saying that they didn't know how to do that. Lola smiled and said that she could help them. She worked with the animals to create a plan where everyone could enjoy the clearing without bothering each other. Soon, they were all playing happily and thanked Lola for her help. As the sun began to set, Lola knew she had to head back. She had been gone for days and was worried about her family. She said goodbye to her new friends and started walking back the way she came. On her way home, she passed by the river, the bridge, the owl's tree, and the deer's house. Each animal she had helped along the way greeted her warmly and thanked her for her kindness. Lola felt a sense of satisfaction, knowing that she had made a difference in their lives. When she finally arrived home, her family rushed to greet her, and they were overjoyed to see her safe and sound. Lola explained everything that had happened during her adventure, and they were amazed by her bravery, intelligence, and kindness. Lola's mother hugged her tightly and told her how proud she was. She then admitted that she had been wrong to keep Lola in the field for so long, and promised to take her on adventures from now on. Lola was thrilled and knew that her journey had changed her forever. From that day on, Lola and her mother went on many adventures together. Lola shared her experiences with all her friends, and they all lived happily ever after. And that is the story of Lola, the cow, and friends. If you enjoyed this delightful tale of adventure and friendship, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Let us know in the comments what you think Lola will do next on her adventures. And for more enchanting stories, make sure to subscribe and never miss out on any of our exciting content. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to bringing you more adventures of Lola, the cow and friends, in the future.